Hello everyone, my name is Hanae. I'm Entrepreneurship Development Officer at CERN. You might have heard of CERN before. CERN is the largest physics lab in the world. But beyond that, it's a bit more than that. We try to be an emerging actor in the deep tech startup ecosystem as well. And I'll tell you a bit more about that. So when you first hear of CERN, you usually think of particle collisions, the Big Bang, or the discovery of the Higgs boson, right? You rarely think about startups. Just to step back a little bit, as you may know, most startups across the world, and deep tech startups specifically, they face the valley of death, this struggle between proof of concept and commercial viability. And actually, 80% of deep tech startups fail in the first 5 years. And this is due to several things, and most of all, it's the tech. It's very hard to push R&D for deep tech startups. It means founders need to have maybe a full-time job on the side to really push their startup to really success in many, many years, maybe 10 years. So it requires a lot of time, money, and struggle, of course. And in addition to that, it's also the money, of course. So the VCs or any investors, there will be a lot of uncertainty for them to step up for the founders in this situation. It takes them several years to really have viability for it. Another obstacle we see is the market fit. Of course, you might have heard about deep tech founders really being in love with the solutions more than the problem. And this is exactly where we see this problem, is they do not really understand the real market fit and the real market they're addressing. And finally, there's also the talent obstacle. We see that so deep tech startup founders, they have a real struggle to find and actually retain talent for their deep tech project. So why am I talking about this? At CERN, we try to actually tackle those problems and those obstacles. We created the CERN Venture Connect program a year and a half ago to actually tackle every single one of those problems, and more specifically the tech, because we're specialized in tech, of course. As you know, we have the big accelerator of particles, and we develop a lot of technologies, and we try to give the most of it to startups in the most beneficial way. So how do we do that? We license certain technologies directly to startup in a very easily accessible, fast way. In addition to that, we also provide ecosystem support and access to the talent pool that CERN has in the CERN alumni everywhere in the world. We also organize a lot of workshops and events for the startups that come through our program. And of course, we also provide funding opportunities through the partners that we've really created around the world. This program is very beneficial for startups because it really differs from any other technological transfer projects that we have. We have really flexible arrangements, and so very standard terms. We only ask for a 2% royalty fee for a startup to come in and use and commercialize certain technologies. We don't ask for any equity, and they only have to provide a 2% royalty fee once they hit 1 million francs in revenue on the technologies that they're commercialized. So a bit more about the technology that we provide. We've handpicked 7 technologies at CERN. So as you know, CERN has millions, billions of technologies. But we've really focused on 7 because we thought they were mature enough and with a high TRL so that startups can actually commercialize them tomorrow if they want. And this is why we only have 7 for now, but we're also exploring more. And so all of these technologies that we provide and we put on the table for startups, they have been tested in, of course, extreme environments, and in the LHC, for example. So on that, they provide, of course, the efficiency and scalability. Wasn't supposed to do that anyway. They provide also really a unique value proposition for the startup compared to any competitor they might have, because once they're in the program, they also have the CERN endorsements. So once they're a startup in our program, they can call themselves a CERN startup. So towards investor, it really allowed legitimacy also in terms of how the tech is really built. So I wanted to bring you a bit in the CERN labs. I don't know if anyone has ever visited CERN before. Maybe some people have too. Great. Well, I'll show you a bit of the labs of two of our technologies in our portfolio. And yeah, I'll hit play if it works. So yes, those are two of our technologies that are on the table for startup to actually use in their technology. It can be from an idea to scale up. It can be any type of startup. If you only have an idea and want the technology to actually implement your idea, we're here to support. Just to explain to you how it works, so for the startups that we currently have, so in a year and a half, we've signed with 8 startups, and they are using currently the technologies, any of the technologies from our portfolio. The first one I wanted to mention is Infocal. You might have heard of them. They're a Dutch startup. They're using our structured laser beam to laser print on bottles and any other objects. They actually replace any consumable. There's also Orbiba Robotics. It's a Turkish startup that also is using the same technology, the structured laser beam, into their robots for sustainable agriculture for farmers. And finally, Motec is the third example I'll give. It's a Polish startup that's using our software Rusho that's able to manage exabytes of data as they're building one tomography to actually identify infrastructure and the insides of the infrastructure from muons. So they're not doing this alone. They actually are using the network that we've built. So we have over 50 partners all around the world. Half of them are VCs, and actually specialized VCs that are very used to investing in deep tech. And other than that, we have a lot of other support systems to help startups grow. So if you're a startup with a vision, a deep tech startup with a vision, and you're based in Czechia or any CERN member states, then feel free to connect with me and we can have a chat. Thank you very much.